Say good morning, welcome back to the channel. This morning we are out at a house that we did that we framed up just a few weeks ago, and I'm here with Jeremy Dameron with Huber. And Huber is the manufacturer of a couple of products that I think everybody would be familiar with, but especially Advantech. That's kind of the one that we've been using in this area for a long time. But over the last few years we've been using a lot of zip exterior sheeting, and this one is a little bit different, isn't it, Jeremy?
It is. Yeah, this one has a insulation attached to the inside of it.
Yeah, this particular board, this is Zip R, and this one is their Zip R6 that has 1 inch of closed cell foam insulation attached to it, right?
Right.
And that gives us, I think it's actually what, like R6.6?
It does.
Now, why are we putting exterior insulation on?
So one of the benefits is it eliminates thermal bridging. So if you look at a standard wall assembly, 20 to 25% of that wall is actually framing material. So if you take a thermal camera, warm on the inside, cold on the outside, you can see there's actual warm spots where that framing material is. And then you take into consideration the windows and doors and holes that are cut for all the mechanicals. You have a lot of opportunities for cool and hot air to transition through the wall that you don't want in the house.
Yeah. And we've got some photos and maybe even some video of some other jobs that we've done where that we've put thermal on the wall, and we can see that bridging exactly like you're talking about. And so we're going to wind up going back and shooting this one too, because I want to see the difference. And you know, I expect that we're not going to be able to see those studs at all, or at least they're going to be extremely diminished. And this product is available with the 1 inch, ½ inch, 1.5, and 2 inch, right? And what is the 2 is an R12 point something?
Yeah, so we have 3.6, 6.6, 9.6, and 12.6.
Yeah, and so at a 12.6 in this area, under our current energy standards, we're actually meeting the insulation requirement with nothing in the stud space. We'd actually, the exterior would completely take care of us. And so I'm pretty excited about this and us trying to get more of this in our market, and in what we do, trying to build as efficient as a house as we possibly can. So,
and exterior installation isn't necessarily a new thing, right? Prior to the zip system, folks would put their structural wall panel up, go all over your house, install that, and then you come back and put the insulation on top of that. Second install, take the seams. But what the difference is when you put your siding on a foam product, you're gonna have to put firming strips because that nail is gonna sag with the insulation on the exterior. Yeah. So with our product, you have the structural panel on the exterior, so there's no additional furring strips. You can go ahead and put your finished cladding right in the face of this panel.
So Jeremy, one of the things that really drew me over to being pretty committed to zip, whether it's Zip R or not, is just the flashing tape and how we're air sealing these things. We're trying to do more blower doors on our projects to where that we really know where we're at. And the fact that, you know, for years, basically my whole career up until about the last 3 to 5 years, it's been OSB and some type of house wrap. And I really prefer that we actually use Tyvek. I think Tyvek is a good product. I do jokingly say that the house wrap that has every lumber company and box store's name on it is basically tissue paper and a waste of time. Tyvek's a different product. Sure. The problem that I kept seeing that really pushed me over to your all's deal was that Tyvek house wrap is 9 out of 10 times poorly installed.
That's correct.
And it's the way that they flash the windows. It's the way that they didn't lap it over their over their step flashing and stuff on the roof lines. It's all these things that lead to that it's really not doing the job it's supposed to do.
That's right.
Because it was just not put on right. And that's one of the things that really drew me over here was that, you know, one, man, I can walk up and say, did they tape the joint or did they not?
That's right.
That's the first indication, is if there's no tape here, we messed up.
Sure.
And then the second thing that is a really telling deal that I'm able to go back and get the framers on is that your all's roller actually has these tiny Z's embossed. I'm not sure what you would call it. It's basically dies, where that when we roll the joint, it leaves these little Z's in the wall.
That's right.
And so I can walk up and see, you know, did they do it? And you know, that's a pretty big deal to me, that we're able to see they did it right, because this tape is pressure sensitive, right?
It is. That's actually a key part of it. So when I'm on job sites with folks, I say it needs to be dry, clean, and roll the tape. And if you have those three things that you do every time, you're gonna have a great overall assembly on the exterior wall. Yeah.
And you and I were talking off camera earlier. Most of the carpenters we're using are building these walls, these exterior walls, on the ground, sheeting them on the ground and sanding them up. And one crew in particular, they keep a leaf blower with them, because they go through, you know, they've routed their window openings, they blow the wall off, they tape it, and they've mounted, Euro's rollers come threaded to where they can put a paint handle, you know, broomstick, whatever in it.
Yep.
And they actually just stand up and walk and tape the joint to where that when they stand the wall up, they've got a completed and properly installed and flashed wall. And our next thing comes in, that then we try to get the roofers to go on and tape their step flashing and those type things as they're going. So that there is some stuff to it, but no different than if you're going to put Tyvek house wrap on right. There's some steps to follow, there's some things to do that can be easily overlooked.
Anywhere that there's opportunity for water to get behind, whether it's tape or metal flashing, go ahead and put the strip of our tape over the top of it, and you're gonna make sure that water will roll off and down and kick out that flash the way you want it to.
Our ability, when we start talking about air sealing, and it's not only air, it's water too, that, you know, there is no great way for them to cut this box into the wall besides cutting a hole for the box to go through. And this one, in fact, is way better than a lot of them that we would see. We were on a zip job the other day that we struggled trying to seal up, because they had been so kind as to drill 1-inch holes in all 4 corners and then connect the dots with a Sawzall. And so you can imagine the gap that was around the box. Well, there's multiple reasons that I want this sealed up. One being that this is an avenue for air to get in, and we don't really want air infiltrating our house. You've sat around in an older house before and felt a breeze on a cold day around a window. Yep. And we just want to try to do something to offset that the best we can. But then also, man, when we seal this up, we're keeping it sealed from bugs, we're keeping it sealed from moisture. You know, a lot of people believe that there's no moisture once we put the siding on. It's like, no, there's still moisture gets back there, and we want to try to mitigate that. Mm-hmm. So sealing this up, I'll put some Zip liquid flash on, and Jeremy's going to show us the proper way to spread this out and make this work. And what was it you were telling me a minute ago about the tape?
So the tape, the 3 3/4 tape, does not have a liner on it. So instead it has a release agent that is on the face of the tape. So when you're using liquid flash and it's going to transition into the 3 3/4 straight tape, you should take a acetone or some of a mineral spirit to go ahead and clean the face of that release agent off, and you can go ahead and use your liquid flash right over top of it.
So it's just basically our liquid flash won't readily stick to this tape.
That's correct.
And what you're talking about is that on our 6-inch tape, on stretch tape, it's paper backed.
That's right.
And so this release agent is actually what allows it to come off the roll.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right, without a paper.
I wasn't really understanding that when we were first talking about it. It makes sense now.
Yep. So any of the tapes that have paper on them, you're not going to necessarily need to do the cleaning.
So this is a pretty big gap that we're trying to fill here. And I'm just going to put you some all the way around this box. All right.
So we're installing liquid flash. It doesn't need to be thick, just so you cannot see the green behind it.
Is there a mil spec or anything that we're trying to hit with that? I mean, you obviously don't have a combed
That's right.
Spatula there. It is just flat, so
Yeah, that's right.
you are pulling it out pretty thin.
Yeah, so just so you can eyeball. So really where the hole is, we want to make sure that that's fairly thick, and that's going to seal up all the way around. But as we transition out, or this tape actually, or this liquid flash actually can be used anywhere that our tapes can be used. So it can be used for the seams, it can be used for your sill pans, it can actually be used to pre-flash the wall, the window hole, and then you can set your window and then use this to flash the flanges of the window as well. So that'll give you a completely watertight seal.
Overdriven nails.
You can, if you wanted to hit your nails, you go ahead and come here real quick. So overdriven nails, we're not necessarily worried about overdriven per se. with any structural panel, if that nail is overdriven, you're losing shear strength in that wall panel. Not just our panel, any panel. So we'd like to see that nail flush. Halfway in is okay, but we're not necessarily concerned with exposed nail heads per se.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much all there is to it.
Yeah, and so what we've been trying to do in our jobs is literally go around to every pipe, every penetration in the wall, and liquid flash them. Again, far superior than trying to figure out how to get house wrap and tape to go around them.
So this can actually be used as a transition from wall to foundation transition as well at that plate. The liquid flash is warranted to go on the cement or block and stay there, and also transition into that wall. Somebody give you
so we actually seal between the bottom of our wall and the top of our concrete or our block wall.
That's right.
Yeah. All right. So we're inside, and you can see on the back of the wall, this is our insulation board that we're looking at. And this is one of the samples of the zip. This is R6 right here, right? So you can see how that they have laminated the insulation board right to this sheeting. And again, the big thing that I like about this, there's two things. I want to be ahead of the code.
Sure.
You know, I know what the code change is. I do know from talking to some people that code change is still several years out for our area. But I also believe in it. I believe this is a really, really excellent way for us to insulate. And so we can see here on the inside where this insulation board it's continuous across the studs. And so we're not going to have those thermal breaks and bridging that are going on.
Right.
For a long time, one of the things that we had looked at, and we'd done it a couple ways with some half-inch foam in how to build our headers to where they were insulated or had some R value to them. I don't have to worry about it if we're doing this. And I never was able to come up with a solution that I liked, in all honesty, to be able to accomplish that, still be able to have a header that, you know, this small window opening, it doesn't take much to transfer load across it. But if we're doing a 12-foot opening, we've got a pretty big piece of lumber that's going across that opening that becomes really difficult to make anything besides a piece of lumber. And versus if we go back and we're using a system like this and we're going across that LVL header, we've insulated the outside of it and we've covered it up.
Well, as we said, I mean, you're going to eliminate that thermal bridging. The insulation is the inside, so we're kind of repeating ourselves here, but it shows the benefits of using this product versus an exterior insulation or trying to even insulate your heads. Everything's covered one time around the building and you're done, and you have your insulation, and then you just carry on, and you have the standard installation on the inside as far as 2x4s and your insulation that you're using prior.
And you know, again, what we're doing on this particular project is we're just going to put an R13 bat in the wall. So, you know, some people probably say, well, why don't you go on and foam it? We could, but the fact is we've got an R6.6 foam on it that now we're putting an R13 bat in the wall. We're air sealed with this product. And so now we put the R13 bat in the wall. One of the reasons that we had gotten away from regular bat insulation was that, you know, as good a job as they can do, they're trying to cut around boxes and things. There's a lot of gaps in their bat insulation. But here, we've got a continuous R6, we're air sealed, and now our bats are just kind of filling in the space. So we're going to have basically an R20 wall here in a 2x4 product. So I really think this is going to be an excellent way for us to do this, and it is what the code's calling for if we ever go to the 2021 code. Is that what it said in? Matt Reisinger, you know, is a huge guy with you all. I really like his Monopoly framing, and we'll post a link to one of his videos on Monopoly framing where you know, if you look at a Monopoly house, there's no overhang. The wall goes up and intersects the roof, and I really like your all's product in accomplishing that, because we can go to the zip roof sheeting to where that now we've taped the roof off. We've taped that joint in between the wall and the roof deck. I don't know how much better we can do air sealing the house than to have that complete envelope wrapped up like that.
Well, that's right. I'm glad you mentioned that. So even if you look at just the standard zip wall and roof sheathing, right? When you're putting up OSB on a standard build and you put house wrap around there, you still have seams around the house where air can penetrate. So when you use standard zip board, you're taping all the seams around the house. You're going to seal up your plate and you sort of transition, you're taping it over, so you're going to keep that wind from coming into that building. So then once you put an R panel on top of it, not only are you sealing all the seams, but now you have that additional insulation to keep all the weather from entering the house. So you're paying a lot of money for it, right?
What's the likelihood of you all having a product like this for the roof deck? An R product, not a regular zip sheeting.
So as of right now, we do have an assembly. It's on our website. So one of the cool things about our website is it's full of information. If you can't find it there, we have a tech team. You can call them. They'll answer questions, everything from a homeowner, architects, engineers, so they can answer some basic questions to really deep diving. But we do have an assembly available for a roof. You need to put a structural panel underneath of it, and then there's instructions to build on top of it. As of right now, it's not a warranted roof assembly. So we're working on that, but there's a lot of different codes around the country.
So that is likely coming.
It is in the works. So like I said, we do have assembly, a detail on our website. So you can do it today. It's just, it's not for us a warranted assembly yet, but it is something you can be available to do. One of the things whenever you're using zip or R panel, especially if you start talking about putting insulation on the roof, one of the key things I tell folks is you want to talk to your HVAC folks, because that makes a difference. So we're keeping all that air from coming into the house, but you need air in the house, right? You have to have exchanges. So you have to have the conversation.
That's an interesting thing to bring up, and we'll link a video too that we talk about ERVs.
That's right.
And we're with one of our Bryant reps and talking about that. In this house, the ERV is already installed, but that's one of the things that we know is that even in fact, what we figured out with starting to do some blower door testing is that house wrap, when only decently installed, is actually getting better blower door scores than I would have thought.
Okay.
And all the way to the point that we probably should be doing air exchanges and ERVs, HRVs, whatever product you want to use to do that, even without zip. And so then when we're taking and we're doing things like this, and we're, if we go to doing the roof decks and we're adding foam, we're doing all these things, there's no air movement.
That's right.
And we've got to make up for that. So that's one of the things that I've noticed a whole lot of in this area is that a lot of guys are, especially the guys that are building spec and track homes, it's a great advertising tool to be able to throw in there the house is fully foamed. But the problem is they didn't do anything on the mechanical side to take care of what that created. Right. They've built a good product. I'm not knocking it, but it's an assembly, and it's not just the framing, it's not just the insulation, it's also mechanical stuff. It's every single piece, every single component that makes that thing up and makes it work. So it's some stuff that we've started looking at pretty heavy and trying to make sure that, last thing that we want to do is build a house that 5 years, 10 years down the road, the homeowner has a problem that we actually could have prevented. All right, so thanks so much for being out today and just telling us a little bit more about Zip in particular, but Huber. And so I'm Jason.
And I'm Jeremy.
For Building Basics.